Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and in this episode we are going to begin and probably finish the Egghunter quest. So, what I'm actually going to do today is I'm going to show you two ways to accomplish this. One of them with teleporting, and one of them with packet injection. Last time we picked up a golden egg. Cannot sell them, cannot trade them, and we can see that we have 1 of 10. So we can hold a maximum of 10 eggs. And so we can assume that in order to complete the quest, we likely need 10 eggs, and if not, well, then I guess we will complete the quest at some point before that, because we can't hold more than 10, and we can't get rid of the eggs that we have. So either 10 is the magic number, or it's less than 10. Either way, we'll find out when we get there. That's the main concern here, is that, how do we find the rest of the eggs? We know the location of one other egg, and that egg is on the back side of the Tail Mountains, which would be over here, on the other side of the pirate ship. Yeah, there we go. So there's this little area tucked back here, and there's this little cave, and this is the golden egg that we were looking at before. I still haven't picked it up because I'm saving it to use as part of the test. Now, in the last episode, I spawned a treasure chest on Major Payne's head. The question is how did I know how to spawn the chest? Well, as it happens... Alright, so my notes here are on the right. So in order to find the location of all of the eggs, there's one really important packet that we need to examine. Now, the really important packet that we need to examine occurs right at the beginning of the game when we first log in. So if you want to capture it, you're going to have to turn Wireshark on before you hit join game. So you can hit it after you authenticate, enter your username and password, but start it before you actually enter the game world. And if you do, then you're going to see a really long packet that the dissector will essentially have this huge list of items. Now this is the dissector's information. It actually has them out of order. So what I did is I broke them each down by their actual hex stream here and put them in order. So we see that item 1 is the fire spell. And item 2 is the string that's sent with it is Lost Cave Bush. Here is the bear chest. That's what I spawned on Major Payne's head, right? And each of these 6D6B packets, well, that's just the opcode for instantiate item or spawn item. So we can see that at the very beginning of the game, a packet is sent to set up the game world. And by set up the game world, I mean it instantiates all of the important items so that the server doesn't have to spawn them in later or detect our player position and spawn them in later. But it's not every creature, like bears, for example, spiders, and giant rats. They don't exist in the game world unless we enter into an area where they exist. When we cross back over the border, like for example when we are fighting the bears and then go back to the town, as soon as we cross over the border between the bear territory and the town territory, any bears that were there simply despawn. But these items don't. These are important quest items. They can't. They have to maintain their state and integrity because they are critical to some function of the game in some fashion. So, like for example, when I log in, it validates that I have the bear flag and that it's good. When that's validated, then the game knows that the instantiated bear chest should be in the open state and there should be no quest objectives associated with it. But that means that we can also see essentially where some of our other objectives are. So, for example, we see that a cow chest is also instantiated. That's item 4. A lava chest, item 5. A blocky chest, item 6. And we know we have a quest to find some cows, and so that must be related. And we know about Fort Blocks, so that must be related. And you might not know what this is, but I happen to know that's associated with another quest as well. And then once all these important quest objectives, the fire spell, the bush, the chests, once they're all instantiated, then we have important NPCs. Here's the gun shop owner, Major Payne. Just Intolerable, the guy with the bear problem. The farmer, Sum Ting Wong, who lost his cows. and somebody we haven't met yet named Michelangelo. So there's another NPC somewhere in the world apparently associated with another quest that we just haven't met yet. After that, that's where we get the really interesting stuff for the Egghunter quest. Because beginning with item ID 11, we basically get a number of eggs in order. Egg 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So a Balmer Peak egg, which is egg 10, and that's item ID 20. We also have one more thing that's instantiated, something called Balmer Peak Poster. So there's a Balmer Peak egg and a Balmer Peak Poster. Both of them we know are somehow associated in an important way with the quest, either the quest we're on or another quest. And as I showed you before, when I spawned a chest on Major Payne's head, these instantiation packets. So we can break down the hex stream for the instantiation packet, which I had already done in order to spawn the chest. But let me show you once again what we're talking about here. The opcode 6D6B. Here is the element ID, and now we know that the bear chest is the third item that is spawned in that big packet right after the fire spell and the Lost Cave Bush. Then we have some zeros, I don't know what it does, and we have some signifier, I don't know what that does, but after that we get a string bear chest, and indeed that is embedded in the stream and most likely an identifier for the server. But then after that, we have our position, X, Y, and Z, and our roll, pitch, and yaw, and then I don't know what that is either right now. But we can break this down, and we do know that there's a position, which means that each of these, we can essentially extract the X, Y, and Z position from each. So we know that this is the opcode, and so there's this, and then roll, pitch, and yaw, and position would be right abouts here. And we can do that for all of our important quest markers. Of course, we know where the fire spell is, we know where the Lost Cave Bush is, we know where the bear chest is, but we could use this to find all of these other items if we don't know where they are. We can also use the items that we do know where they are. If I extract the X, Y, and Z and then teleport there using Cheat Engine or your trainer or whatever, then we know that it's working. So with this, you can just teleport to a known NPC or objective using either Cheat Engine or your trainer or whatever method you want. I mean, you could even just view your X, Y, and Z in Wireshark and walk to the NPC or objective and verify that you're doing it correctly. And then once you do, then we know that we have it right. And I do have the ability to test, so let me go back to the game. So the button that I pressed to get to the top of the world here on top of this mountain is my F6 key. And as I explained in a previous video, I have a counter that basically cycles through several predetermined locations. The first location that I hit is the top of the mountain. I added inside the tree in the Unbearable Woods as my next location in order to complete Unbearable Revenge. Then I added another location. I'm at the top of the mountain. I should now teleport to the bear tree. And I did. Right exactly where I was. Now, the next key is one that I added that should be the location of that egg that we found. Indeed. Here we are on the opposite side of the Tail Mountains, opposite from the Unbearable Woods, I should say, in that tiny cave with the egg that we found. So I know that I picked up in the Tail Mountains Pony Express station, I picked up egg 8. That means I've got egg 19, 20, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, and 11, those item IDs to pick up. But since I can decipher the X, Y, and Z position of every egg, which I've just done with one egg, well, all I need to do is the same thing with all of the eggs, and it should take me exactly where I need to go. So let me show you how I did that. So here I am in my trainer, and to F7 I have bound simply another teleport hack, except this one uses a much larger counter and corresponds to all of the locations for the egg. So each time I press the key, I will simply teleport to the next golden egg, the next golden egg, and the next golden egg. Now, after that, once I teleport there, I simply need to press E to collect the egg, and there you have it. I have completed all of the objectives. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to teleport to each egg, but I'm not going to pick them up because I'm actually going to show you a more elegant method that allows you to collect all of the eggs without actually going anywhere. You can stand in one place and send one command, and you collect all the eggs. But let's see how the teleport looks. All right, so here we are back at the top of the world. I didn't want to start our test near a golden egg lest we taint the results. So the code that I actually just showed you doesn't teleport me one at a time. There is a counter, and that is what I'm going to have it do after this recording. But for now, that code will actually iterate through all of the locations, pausing only very briefly between them. So when I press F7, it will actually automatically take me to all 10 locations. So it will be at least enough to show you that it is indeed working. So what I'm going to do now is press F7, and it will have me hop around the game world to each of the 10 egg locations. Here we go. And there you have it. So, as you saw, or perhaps not at every location, maybe you didn't see the egg, but at those locations I certainly saw several of those eggs, so that is where they are. We're landing right on top of them. And all I had to do is press E to pick them up, but I'm not going to do that for this challenge. Except for this last position here. We teleported to the Balmer Peak egg location, but there is no egg here. That's because there is a trick with the last egg. And just as I said before, I'm not going to give away too much of the answer. Honestly, there are plenty of write-ups on this, so I can't stop you from simply Googling it and finding the answer that way. And if you do, don't feel like you're cheating or anything. That's part of the challenge. But I'm at least going to make you go and find the answer rather than just telling you. But I will say that that is the correct location for the 10th egg. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to collect the eggs, but I'm going to use a different method. The method that I'm going to use is to inject a packet and have the server go ahead and do all of the work for me. In order to accomplish this, I essentially need to take the packet that I collected before, which is this packet here when I collected egg 8. So I know that this 1, 2 here corresponds with our item ID, and I know the item ID for all of the rest of the eggs. So if I send a packet, 6565, insert the ID of the egg I want to pick up, and then follow it up with a location packet, it basically recreates the packet that I received for 8. The only trick is that the server may or may not validate my position, which means I might need to actually craft this movement packet, this location packet, so that the server can validate my position when I pick it up. And that is what I have done in my with my proxy here. So it will inject packet after packet that I've created. So I'll just have to craft that packet, and then in each of these locations, for egg 1 all the way to egg 10, insert that packet. And then when I enter the command egg, it will run them with a brief sleep in between, so it doesn't go too fast. The server, we don't want it to get overwhelmed or anything. And it will collect the eggs for us. We don't even have to actually move. But for now, I'm going to stop the video briefly, and I will come back to you when it is ready and we can collect our eggs. EGG. Acquired golden egg. Now, I left quite a long pause between them because I wanted to be absolutely sure that I had time to figure it out. But yes, there we have it. I am merely casually sitting atop the mountain, and the eggs are coming to me, if you will. That's 6. That's 7. That's 8. Oh. Okay. All right, well, that's the egg I was missing. I'm not sure exactly why it kept failing, but after some troubleshooting and some digging, yeah, it reliably was causing a disconnect error here just with this one egg. The only thing I can figure is maybe my location was just a little bit off, and it was maybe teleporting me somewhere impossible or something like that, where the servers, I'm not sure. But it's probably something like that. I'm sure it's something that I did with the packet I crafted or my calculations of the location or something. But we've got it. That's the 9th golden egg, which leaves only the 10th golden egg to go. And as I said, we know the location of the egg, but we don't know how to cause it to appear. And I will leave that to you, but I am going to go collect it so that I can show you the flag. So here is the location where it should be after an undisclosed amount of time and undisclosed actions and undisclosed... The egg has appeared. I pick it up, and we get the flag of the Egghunter with our final golden egg. 10 of 10 eggs. Flag of the Egghunter. 2 flags down. Which means now, as the quest marker in the upper left-hand corner tells us, we are on a mission to find the lost cows. Alright, so then that's it for this video. I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching, and if you're having any problems or concerns with collecting the 10 eggs, or you need a little bit more guidance on how to activate that 10th egg, then please do reach out, let me know. But I think I've given you enough information certainly to set you on the correct path.